Dude, it's no longer on the car. Now it's actually okay. Regardless, I'm going to the gym. It was my first day of work. It was my first day at work. My first day at work, actually, is what I should be saying. In Chile. And not too bad. You know what's even crazier is like it still felt like a blink at work. It felt like regardless the time that I would have been like quote unquote at home was gonna be spent in this like cycle of just consumption. This one was just consuming, but for the purpose of learning to do the job. So I was like nodding when I was like at work looking at the computer doing the trainings, and I'm like, and it's like the mandatory trainings that you just do when you get onboarded at a job. Let me say specifically in California, because I believe we have a bit more training than other states sometimes. Maybe others are just matching and are on par. But for the most part, yeah, okay, regardless, it's pretty okay. It's still a giant corporation that cares about itself over everyone, so that's a crazy gap there. Not crazy, but the people seem pretty cool. The people seem pretty cool. I think I think the two morning people, they're kind of whatever about me being onboarded right now, because frankly I'm still just a body that's still learning. So it's like we'll see how long he stays around, and I'm just basing that off the conversations I've already had with my boss. So yeah. But they'll open up with time. At least I want to say that a little bit more to be chit-chatty. This is the morning people. That's my training. This is going to be at. And then once I switch to like night, those people, I got to meet some of them. Pretty cool right off rip. So that will be fun to work with them. And so, yeah. Now it's back to, you know, it was actually so interesting that this work, the last training program I did before the end of the day, I still have more I need to do, but the one at the end of the day was talking about Kaizen, talking about your North Star, or their North Star, talking about the 5 S's, you know, like words that are all like, they're all coming from like Japanese culture. And it was throwing me off. I was just like, where is all this coming from? The concept of lean. I was so blindsided by it. I was like, whoa, that's so interesting. All this growth. But it's true, the company wants growth. Your employees are really where that growth will come. But yeah, that was quite something. Let's see. yeah. So, to the gym. Now it feels like my time is limited once again. It sounds so, like, crazy to say, like oh, my time is limited again. Now the urgency hits me. And there's probably a word for this in psychology, or a phenomenon in psychology that's related to, like, the sense of urgency. Like, now I'm, like, constrained again. And it's like, I'm okay with this constraint, because now my mind goes, hey, you only got so much time outside of this. We got to really put the focus into everything else. And I feel like that's great, because you might say before, like, oh wow, like you didn't have this level of, like, let's build something before. And I believe part of that was I wasn't gaining the capital to do some of those things. And so it was not advantageous to try to push for something that was something that needed capital to begin. Now I'm like, okay, I'm generating capital to support myself and the things that I have to pay for, but the other money that I gain, how can I go ahead and make this grow? You know, make my money work for me. And so, what can I do that will make me, or not to make me like this, but just how can I grow this money now outside the workforce? How can I have a job and a side hustle that will make me more money on top of it? So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. I still want to do a farmer's market, go to farmer's market. I believe selling my art is one of those things, even if I just do it once a month. You know, once a month, I'm going out to a farmer's market and I'm selling my art. And it's like, hey, I do this, like, recreationally. These are all pieces that I go ahead and have that express something about myself. So, yeah. Do I have the space inside my, actually I'm going to say this parents' house to make a bunch of this art? I don't know. But yeah, I'll see. I think that's my way of going ahead to build something. Because the art is expressive. It has a story that is mine. And, you know, it just feels right. It feels right. So, I'm going to go ahead and continue to create art. And that's demonstrated with these as I do it on my computer. And yeah, to do some on physical canvases again. You know, I have the few that I have personally for myself, and those ones will stick with me. You know, those are like the pieces that are like, okay, like this really is super valuable for me. And then I mean, all of them are going to be valuable to me, so it's going to be like hard to let go of them. Excuse me. But I understand that if someone is buying a piece of my art at this point in my journey, and I say it specifically like that for a reason, at this point in my journey, very early on, it's because the art is calling to them. The art is calling to them, and they feel like it can have a place in their space because it touches something deeper inside of them that they might not even know themselves. So, yeah. So that's the plan. That's the plan. I still have those concepts inside of my mind for the artwork I want to do, and even some like card-esque type ideas, like that have artwork that people can go ahead and, you know, collect. So yeah, this is where I'm at moving forward. You know, even though I opened up my like online shop for a couple months and I was like, okay, this is where I want to go. And then I realized, like, okay, I need to take a step back. I have this dream now, and this dream is to be an artist. This dream is to create art that inspires people, that reaches deep inside them, as it is something that I'm expressing from deep inside me. So yeah, it's just pretty interesting. I think that's where I stand with it. That is where I stand with it. Something about it today. Well, I mean, I'm like, says the company bought me Subway. And maybe today's art might resemble Subway in some form. I'm not too sure. It might not. But I feel like that's where I'm heading. If not something with the phrase Kaizen, maybe. We'll see what it becomes once I'm there. Because honestly, a big thing about today too was, and I talked about it in a different recording. That one's not going to be the one that's posted because that one was too short. It was only like 4 minutes. But, and really the essence was just talking about my feeling of anxiety, this fear of like showing up and something going so wrong. And I told myself that that's not happening in this moment. What is consuming me on the inside that has me shaking, that I'm gonna quote unquote mess something up? Like, there's no expectation of me right now except for showing up. So just taking deep breaths in and out, and that's really all it was. And holy cow, I can't even see where it turned into. The sun is blocking the view. Okay, but how do I say this? I see one car here. Well, actually, there's like a couple cars here. Let's be real. Yeah. I was like, how many people are realistically here? Enough to make me go, I don't want to show up at this time. But now my schedule will have me going in from 6 to 2:30, so I'll just go straight after work at like, and get here at like 3:30. So nothing will be compromised. Sort of. But yeah, I gotta live in the moment more. That's really it. Living in the moment and stop worrying so much. I think I've been worrying about a lot of things. Finances, a lot, but yeah. See ya.